This episode of The Ringiverse is presented by Searchlight Pictures. More than ever, America needs a laugh. Enter Super Troopers to the rescue. The cult comedy classic returns with the most offensive installment yet, with Super Troopers 3. A debaucherous bachelor party, an over-the-top wedding, and a dangerous drug smuggling ring all threaten the troops' future. Fill your liter of cola and roll up to the multiplex for Super Troopers 3. Meow playing only in theaters. Get tickets. Meow.
You guys might have heard the news, but if you haven't heard the news, got to break it to you right now. Groundbreaking, historic news. The Midnight Boys are coming to New York Comic-Con, baby.
We are thrilled to announce we'll be hosting a panel at the Javits Center during the NYCC festivities. If you are a New York Comic-Con badge holder, please come see us on Saturday, October 10th at 4:30 p.m. in room 408 at the Javits Center.
That's Saturday, October 10th at 4:30 for the panel. Remember, you have to have a New York Comic-Con badge in order to hang with us, but that's okay. If you need any more updates, make sure to follow us at the Midnight Boys, and we'll keep you updated.
Y'all, we can't wait to be in the Big Apple this fall, guys. Pew, 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 pew. Welcome into the Ringiverse. This is, of course, the Ringers Nexus podcast feed for all things fandom. We are Steve, the architect, Ahlman, the builder and tinker of things. Jomi, the explainer, Adeniran. You got questions, he's got answers. Old man Van, he of the receding resurgent hairline. Coke, baby, Chuck, the 24-karat closer. Together we are known as the Midnight Boys. We'll be right back after this. Follow us on socials at the Midnight Boys Pod on Insta and TikTok, at Ringiverse on Insta, TikTok, Twitter. Jomi?
Guys, you know how every time I come in here, I say how much I love you guys and how much I appreciate y'all. Mm-hmm. I mean it, because it's been like 3 weeks and they still kicking us for the uncle niece thing on Instagram.
For the what?
For Bela and Alan.
The family tree
man. The family tree man.
Oh, we getting our asses kicked. Well, you're getting your ass kicked. You gotta talk to people about
those mentions are insane.
You gotta talk to people about gaming.
Hey,
but let's let Jomi do his thing. I don't know what you're talking about. They're still mad at us?
They're still mad. Brother, it's my job. I look at the comments and it's like, y'all still this, y'all that. This hurt my brain, this and that. And, you know, it's tough because we love each other so much, but sometimes you gotta put out the content, you know what I'm saying? And they're gonna kick you for it.
Honestly, they better put us next to Stephen A. Smith on the NABJ.
Thumbs down?
Midnight Boys gonna be right there.
Midnight Boys thumbs down award. Look, man, look. I'll go ahead and take accountability. The half sister, half brother thing threw me for a loop, bro. I couldn't see it, man. They just
I hate that math too. It really is. It's weird to visualize.
It messed with me, but it's really they half sister. But sometimes you could do that half sister, half brother shit of a different generation, and that messes with you sometimes. Yeah. Like
that's some Southern shit too.
It's some Southern. It's like, hey, you know, this from the first marriage, they fucking 15 years apart or whatever. You don't think about it like right off the bat.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough.
So we're on YouTube. Like, comment, subscribe, share. You can watch every Midnight Boys and House of Art episode on youtube.com/@Ringiverse and also on Spotify. Program reminders. This Thursday, the House of Art revisits Oppenheimer.
Yeah.
Oppie.
Hot on the summer.
Oppie's back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man.
Oppie's back.
Getting real Oppie outside.
Really Oppie outside, bro. Also, this Thursday, Bud Mash gives you a GTA 6, is that 5 or 6? I don't know.
6.
6 extended look. When does that come out?
That comes out in September.
So,
and when does Wolverine come out?
Oh no, it's in September. It comes out in October. Everything else in the gaming industry comes out in September.
What else is in the gaming industry that's coming out?
Like Onimusha, Wolverine, I think like 4 other AAA games. Everybody is scared of GTA 6 coming out.
When does Star Wars pod racing game come out?
October.
We should do a crossover with Bud Mash.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like do a crossover with Ben and Bud Mash. Maybe we could try to fit that in New York too, since he's out there. Crossover with Ben, Bud Mash, play Wolverine. What are we expecting from the Wolverine game?
It looks amazing.
Fun. Yeah,
I know. I'm worried.
There's some new gameplay footage.
What are you worried about, man?
What
are you worried about, man?
Bro,
what worries you?
First of all, you know, I've been getting a little bit more into gaming, so niggas are like, they didn't even create their own engine. This is some Uncharted shit.
Stop.
Blah, 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 blah. And I'm
what
like,
do that mean? What do that mean?
Well, like basically, like is the typical game that you see where it's like, oh, there's like a red dot. You got to run after the fucking.
There's like different game engines. For example, the reason this is going to be like really nerdy, but the reason I knew that at D23 that Coco thing was a video game was because like when they're doing the thing, I was like, that's Unreal Engine.
Yeah.
I know that's Unreal
I've heard
Engine.
Unreal Engine before. So Unreal Engine is what does engine mean?
It's basically like a template that game designers use. So engines are basically like ways in which you can
Characters
render
move,
things. So
look,
the Unreal
render.
Engine is owned by Epic Games, so that's really good at like rendering big grand vistas and big crowds. Like Valve has their Steam OS and all of that stuff. Like there are different engines that are good at using different things. Unreal is kind of like the industry standard. Like a lot of games are used on that.
Interesting. And the Wolverine engine is the
The
little engine that's
nerds
it?
are arguing.
It means nothing, honestly,
Who
because they don't know what they're
cares?
talking about. They just want shit to complain
I'm
about.
fucking
It
around.
looks
I
awesome.
don't. I'm so excited for this game.
Yeah.
Actually,
I'm excited too. I want to play because I've been playing Spider-Man again. And
why? Because they got you. They got the brand new day
They
they
suit.
got the
suit?
brand new day
Brand
suit.
new day
It's the
suit.
same shit. I'm such an idiot. It's the same shit with a different suit that
Yeah.
I'm swinging around again.
Does Wolverine have as many good suits as Spider-Man? Probably not, but he's probably the second
He's got good
in
fits.
Marvel.
Second, he's got like like as far as good suits, Wolverine's way up there.
All right,
Spider-Man's
this is
top.
gonna have to be post credits, but where do you? I always judge people by which Wolverine suit they rank.
Brown,
Probably top
brown
three.
fit, number one.
Brown fit is
Brown fit's number one.
is
for
number
me.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah, brown fit.
I
is
like the
Wolverine.
blue one.
You like the blue one?
I like blue.
Because that's a '90s. That's a younger kind of like.
I like blue.
Because I used to love the yellow and blue one
Mhm.
more, but then you get into the construct like, nah, the fucking brown one is
Brown
fucking
one's
legit.
best.
The brown one, he just seemed like more of a G. But
Mhm.
that one's classic though.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I
Yellow.
love the Morrison leather jacket.
I about to
No,
say
yeah, that's great. That's great.
Leather
And I was
jacket's
fucking
up
with
there.
the Ultimate X-Men one too.
The flannel?
I don't remember what that one looks like.
Ultimate X-Men, like they had all the black. It's like the fucking.
Oh, the black leathers?
I don't know if you read like this. I think it was like last year, 2 years ago. This is like Wolverine comic that I was getting with Kerm. We were reading.
Oh no,
it together.
he do look cold.
And he's got this like it's like black and like not like gray, but like he's got like red eyes.
Oh, that's from X-Force.
The X-Force, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, that's clean.
Mhm.
I also, if
That's
they don't
clean.
allow us to do the weapon, if they don't have a skin for the weapon X
Oh, they
with
will.
the helmet,
They will, yeah.
that is actually in my top 3.
Black
for
and,
sure.
This black
Oh.
and red one is sick too.
That's
though.
what I was like. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's like
Weapon
this
X
one
is
where
just
he's
not
like gray too. Like he's got some sick. He's got some.
He's just the man. He the
I
man.
would argue like Spider-Man's tough though because like,
No one can beat Spider.
He's got
But
his
Besides
charisma.
Batman.
Spider-Man suits, Batman suits too, but Spider-Man suits are also iconic in terms of what they signify
Yeah.
for what the character is at the point on his journey that he's at. Like every suit is a different version of Spider-Man, like narratively almost. Like they're important. The suit changes for Spider-Man, it feels like.
Yeah.
All right. Today's episode, now that we've talked about everything else,
Every
Um,
other thing.
we react to the second episode of Lanterns.
Yep.
Sunday night HBO shit. We are back. Okay. We are going to be spoiling Lanterns, and this is the type of show where spoilers really matter because it's keeping you edging you see every single scene. So in order to insulate you guys from feeling this crushing disappointment that you might feel from having something spoiled, you've already watched. If you listen to this podcast, we're going to give you the spoiler warning that Steve created. Go ahead, Steve.
We're getting ready to talk about Leonard. You're listening to a reaction podcast. The spoilers are coming.
All right, to begin our reactions, we once again need to bring you the Midnight Manifest. Only person that can do that is Chuck Wagon. Take it away, Charles.
All right, there's your Midnight Manifest for episode 2 of Lanterns, directed by James Ha, written by Vanessa Baden-Kelly and Chris Mundy. John's day starts with a flying lesson from Hal. The two bicker, and John ultimately fails, constructing a living bird instead of taking flight. Hal sends his trainee on a side quest to retrieve his lantern battery so he can continue his investigation alone. Hal discovers William Macon and Carrie knew aliens had invaded Rushville, but want to keep it secret from the intergalactic cop. Carrie and Hal come to an understanding after Jordan gets shot for trespassing on Macon's land. This culminates with Jordan dirty macking on the married cop. Meanwhile, John is kidnapped by the same sect of aliens that invaded Rushville. They reveal that a Manhunter is hiding in the Nebraska town. Manhunters are a technological precursor to the Green Lanterns who committed mass atrocities in the name of justice. The aliens tell John that Hal can't be trusted. This sentiment is underlined when the alien leader shares that only an advanced Green Lantern can conjure a living creature and have it survive that far from the ring. The aliens give John 48 hours to contact them with the whereabouts of the Manhunter before they send more of their kind to blow up the town. John and Hal reunite. Stuart tells Hal about what he's discovered about the Manhunters, which leads the Green Lantern to have a conversation with his imprisoned mentor, Sinestro. That has been your Midnight Manifest for Lanterns. I'll start us off. the train is running. The second episode is cooking. It is. I'm fully invested in this world. I was like, to me, there was so much that they were doing in the pilot. It was almost like a can they do it? Can they do it? And it was a sigh of relief that like, okay, we have a good show. Episode 2 was one where I'm like, okay, the mystery is cooking, the chemistry is electric. And most of all, they're making so many changes to the Green Lantern mythos. And even when I don't like all of them, I find them fascinating.
Say more about that.
Well, to me, for this show, the difficulty of it is perfect example. Storytelling wise, it makes perfect sense for Hal to send John to get his battery. Now, usually in Green Lantern comics, the battery is something that you can carry with you, especially in later runs. Same thing with the suit. The suit is something that is 9 times out of 10 conjured by the ring. To ground this, I think it makes so much more emotional sense. And just in terms of like CGI sense, for the battery to be a physical thing that you have to go get. Same thing with the suit, where it's like it gives Hal, you have this pathos for him almost, where you're like, oh, the suit is something that like he has to wear. So he can choose whether he needs to put it on or not. It's not something that's automatic that comes with the ring. And to me, those make the storytelling just way more deeper. And it also makes a character that's so powerful in the comics and can do anything. It grounds them. So it's something like when Hal gets shot, we know the ring can stop a bullet, but you want to feel that Kyle Chandler can get hurt. You want to put him in peril.
So I think that's a phenomenal observation. I give King, Mundy, and Lindelof credit for doing something that sometimes superhero shows don't do, which is craft a world that can sustain itself rather than make, I don't want this to be a holistic criticism about superhero shows, but sometimes these shows start to become a series of interconnected stunts that the story just has to get you to the next grand thing that happens, right? So you're not really in the world. You're in the world as far as the world can sustain you for the next gigantic lightsaber battle or flying fight. This world can sustain itself. Like you can just be in this world and like be content to be there because there's so much intrigue. You're on your back foot. The chemistry between the two leads always keeps you guessing. And just being in Rushville, it's a world of mystery. Is it this? What's happening? Like there's intergalactic fucking shit happening in a dusky podunk shitheel small Nebraska town. And that intrigue like keeps you connected to it. What you said about Green Lantern is also fascinating because of the way the Green Lantern character has failed in live action. So the Ryan Reynolds movie in live action was this like fantastical journey of space power and space wizards. It was almost campy. It was a animated suit, a CGI suit, and all of that stuff.
They give you Kilowog right away.
Like the entire deal. This is all of those powers, but it's about men, the men who wield them.
Yeah.
And it almost feels like the Green Lantern ring is the least of Hal Jordan's powers. Hal Jordan is cunning, and he's brilliant,
resourceful,
and he's resourceful, and he's all those. The Green Lantern ring seems like almost it seems like a break the glass emergency thing.
Yeah.
He's not around wielding that, which is why when the ring is running out of power, it makes it so interesting because you go, is he going to be just as brave when he doesn't have it? And he is, because it's really not about the ring making Hal Jordan a hero. That's not what makes him a hero. What makes Hal Jordan a hero is who Hal Jordan is. And this show has done a better job in 2 episodes of making us understand that than almost any other superhero show that I've seen, to be honest with you.
I mean,
Daredevil is very close.
Yes.
Daredevil does it well.
Kyle Chandler went for like 75 points in this episode. I thought he was incredible. Not to be like, it's only been 2 episodes. You know, I don't want to be all hyperbolic, but this is like so far one of my favorite superhero TV show performances like ever. What he's doing with the cop, going to the ranch, just being like My first comp was Sean Spencer. I don't know if you guys have seen Psych or whatever.
Yeah.
But like that type of person who is like so annoying, just like a little like very off kilter. But at the end of the day, they're right. And so they're going around. He's on the phone with John, picking up the bodies from the morgue and like having a conversation like it's degular, going to the town hall meeting and like interrupting and doing his whole thing. And like this is a character like under normal circumstances, like if you were the cop, you'd be annoyed too. Come here doing my job, this and that. But watching him like solve the problem and be like, you guys, not only do you like have technology that you can't afford that's detecting aliens and not metal for some reason, your father-in-law is the guy behind it. Why is that? He came here on a hunch, like he knows ball, and despite all of his misgivings and all of his like idiosyncrasies, he's still right. And you still love that character because Kyle Chandler is playing him in such a perfect way that despite all the guff he's giving John, and like John like literally at the end is slamming the door like, yo, I can't believe it. John still at the end knows that guy is still the best man for the job.
Yeah.
And despite the people telling him, hey, do not tell this guy, he turns around not only because like John is honor bound, John is duty bound, but because he's the guy that can solve the problem.
Yeah.
That's the magic of the show. That's why the show, like 2 episodes, I'm having an excellent time.
And you mentioned being grounded, and that's the thing that I was actually worried about with the show, because to me, grounded has often translated to we're scared to be a comic book show or a comic book movie, and we take things too seriously, and we take things like kind of we like mute the inherent silliness or inherent lightheartedness of it being a superhero show in order to make a story that we can take seriously. This show actually has an amazing balance to where not only can it be funny at times, but it's also not afraid of utilizing all of these things about Green Lantern that make the character grounded, and no air quotes attached to that. The fact that Hal is operating in a world where he knows he's a superhero and he doesn't exactly exert authority, but he just kind of walks about the world as if he knows that he can blow anything up with this magical ring. No like normal person without superpowers is going to take 2 corpses out of a morgue and run them through and drag them through a metal detector unless you knew that you were this, if you had utmost authority that people wouldn't understand. John appealing to that level of respect that he has for Hal and essentially doing like his PA work, going to his house, feeding his weird looking plants that could have just as easily been a dog and a wink and a nod to us, is just like a brilliant kind of conceit that the show is going to still make, that a safe has a pocket dimension in it and we're not really batting an eye at it, is really, really brilliant. I actually needed to go on a deep dive about how constructs work, knowing how big of a deal it is that John can keep a construct going, not only when he doesn't have the ring, but when the ring's out of power.
Out of power, brother. He wasn't even like really thinking about it for real. That was the crazy part. He just like, I mean, in the comics, John is like a better construct because
he builds it from the nuts and bolts.
Right. He's an architect, right?
Yeah.
In like the comics. And so like his constructs have like more intricate in the whole thing. But to keep a bird alive that whole time while getting like on the freeway, like under duress with the people who took him captive, like that's impressive, man. He the man.
He didn't he didn't just keep the bird alive. The bird was an acolyte of his.
Yeah.
Like if you notice, he got in trouble and the bird like jumped in the fight. The bird's trying to figure it out. Something else about something that the show is doing that is really important to the character of the Green Lantern in the DCU is that there's a thought that like anybody could be the Green Lantern. That because the Green Lantern is a ring, and the ring gives you your power, like that anyone could do it. Like you think about Batman, you know that everyone couldn't be Batman.
I could have been Batman.
Like Batman has a suit, Batman has all of these gadgets, Batman has all of these toys, but Batman built all of those things as extensions of who he already is. So everything that the batarangs are dangerous because he knows how to throw them. All of the tech is basically problems that he solved in the past, and he goes, I need a bat answer for this. I need an answer for when I'm jumping off something. I need an answer for when I'm doing all of this stuff. So all of that stuff, you know that only Batman could have thought that up because it's a Batman thing. The Green Lantern ring is different because you put it on and then whatever you can create with your will, it feels like anyone could learn to use it. What the show is doing is showing you why not anyone could be a Green Lantern. It's showing you the difference between Stewart and Jordan, and not just the difference between each other, but the difference between them and everybody else. And one very important moment in that is when John decides to tell Hal that he was contacted by this group of aliens. Because that is something that in a lot of movies and shows that character wouldn't have done.
Right.
That they would have taken their own side mission and their own opportunity, not to hold something over Jordan's head, but to dig into this mystery for themselves, to see what they could see. Because these people didn't come to Jordan because they don't trust Jordan. Also, to drive a wedge between the two characters. Hey, what is it about him that they don't trust? Do I need to? But that's not what he does. Because part of the reason why he's qualified to be a Green Lantern is because it's a gigantic organization and he respects the structure, to your point, of that organization. But these two characters are not just separated for themselves. They seem like two guys that are completely also unique and talented for the world that they're in, which the show's doing a fantastic job of.
Do you think, because obviously they had the Barack Obama joke, this is Damon Lindelof, creator of HBO's Watchmen, where it's interesting to me that they're leaning into the cop aspect of the show, where the Green Lantern ring is almost like a firearm, where Hal keeps telling John, it's how you use it. It's when you use it. It is not something in the comic books. The ring is something where it's like, you can make all this fantastical shit. If I need to fly, if I need to do this, if I need to do that, I can use the ring. And it's interesting to me that the way the ring is portrayed in this is almost Hal being like, if you have to use this when you don't need it, it shows a level of weakness. It shows a lack of character. Because to me, it reminded me of like Breaking Bad or Better Call Saul, where this is a process show, where it is like you are seeing the process of Hal having to drag bodies out of the morgue, solve a mystery, go back and forth, where you're like, he could have waited until he had the ring, until John got back, and probably done this shit in half the time. But Hal is a character that knows, hey, part of solving a mystery is being down on the ground with the people asking questions. And it's interesting to me, even that, like, John, what makes him good is he sees how was shot. This is a sniper. And he's like, oh, he got you. That was a warning shot. And I think what Hal is realizing is like, John is so powerful. If I just give him this thing, is he going to rely on it too much?
Think about the difference in the conversation, the difference in their perspectives in the conversation that they had about the $20 bill.
Mm.
So John goes, hey, you just used the ring to counterfeit a $20 bill. John, buttoned up, process, structure, you just counterfeited money. That is wrong. You broke the law. That for Jordan was I need to use this. Because
he says, I use my willpower.
I use my willpower, right? But he had to do it. Why did he have to do it? Because it was part of a grand plan. He needed a $20 bill because he needed to continuously play that song all night long to rile those guys up, to have the fight with them, to get arrested, to go and be in the same room with the guy so that he could interrogate him.
Yeah.
So the ring is a means to an end. Meanwhile, Stewart is criticizing the power in which you use it. Do you use it to cut corners? Do you use it to do something that's illicit? Like, he's like, how should this ring be used? Is this ring a source of power, or is it an extension of the wielder of it? And that's like in this episode, taking the energy away from it and making John have to go on a trek to give Hal intergalactic power was very interesting. He gets beat up on that trek. He has to feed his fucking pet on that trek. Did he learn something that puts him in a weird power position with him and immediately gives that power up? So whenever John Stewart does get the ring, which at the end of the first episode, it doesn't seem like Jordan has it, and it doesn't seem like Stewart has it.
But how much does John need it is now my question, where I'm like, if he's able to build living constructs without the ring being on his finger, that's also a mystery of, is this why the Guardians picked him? Did the Guardians sense something about the way he was raised, his willpower, where almost he's in an Anakin position where this nigga got midichlorians. He gonna go crazy. That's how they were talking. That's how the aliens were talking about him. They like, hey, yo, your man didn't tell you, but this some advanced shit.
Yeah.
Nah, man, come on, man. You gotta have the ring, bro. It's Green Lantern, man. You gotta.
No, he's gonna have it, but how much does he need it on his finger? Like the minute he sees Hal's ring, he's like, "No, that's my ring."
I think that's a bit of a stretch if he can make a construct while someone else is wearing it.
Yeah, I mean,
is that crazy?
No, that is pretty crazy. But to your point, though, I mean, movies do this all the time where they take a character, it's like, all right, like Karate Kid, you need to learn karate, cool, wax on, wax off. You know what I mean? Like you're not really fighting. Where they teach you don't touch a ball for the first 3 weeks of practice, right? And then once you start, then you're like, oh, I get it. Now it's just second nature. I think that's like what they're doing, and it's working really well.
Ask you guys a question, just early. Who's the Manhunter?
Oh, I have thoughts. I have two. I think Zoe is a red herring.
Because they want you to think that Zoe's the Manhunter.
I think they want you to think that Zoe is the Manhunter, but she's
True.
in the running. Part of me is I'm like, when Sheriff Carey was like, oh, I'm from Gotham, I'm like,
Brother,
Are
that's
you?
so either she and Hal Jordan are in love and they gonna have an affair or something, or she is the Manhunter because she got all the answers. Right, in the first episode, she knew the dude was an alien already.
Yeah.
Second episode, she's like, yeah, I like when she pulls up on him in the car. Yeah, I knew this, but she gets in the hospital and she's like, hey man, what about Sinestro? And she's like, yeah, I read it on. I'm like, I'm sure you did. When they're walking out of the hospital and they got all the all the unwrapped medical equipment, and she's just like answering them questions easy. I'm like, you don't got no questions? This don't seem peculiar to you?
I thought it was Zoe at first, but then once she started, like, I was like, you have a quick answer to a bunch of shit that's real weird.
Mm-hmm.
It's either like it might be the biggest red herring of all time, but I'm like, yo, this seems pretty like this seems like a layup. Maybe we're not. Maybe we haven't seen the entire picture yet. But for right now, she's number one on the list.
Steve?
Yeah, I'm really curious who that might be. It's probably Zoe. I'm just more curious as to how many Manhunters there really are, like on Earth, just to know that like this is like an established thing. Because once I knew that Manhunters were an established thing in this world, and not only that, but they have like basically like a CIA working against them. I think I'm more so curious as to what technology that Earth or they have to do that, because the way that they inject those memories into John's psyche just to make them understand their cause, I think is a lot more interesting. Again, something that I bought wholesale at the risk of sounding grounded, because another show would just like kind of torture him and just be like, you're getting us this information. But instead they basically inject him with memories.
They inject him with memories and then they rely on what they know about him for that to animate him.
I thought that scene worked really well.
Really,
because I think a lesser show would have, and once again, I'm sorry to say it like this because they're the competition. I think because the MCU pumped so much money into their shows, they would show you the aliens and the Manhunters attacking or whatever. But to me, the restraint, and obviously it was like a budget thing, but the restraint of being like, we're going to trust that Pierre can act how it would feel like to witness a genocide from this gun. And it's such a comic book idea.
Oh, yeah.
But I was just like, it worked for me because I'm like, the interesting thing is not to show the CGI mess. The interesting thing is to be like, okay, John now knows how dangerous the Manhunters are. At 5 minutes, he did not even know that they existed.
Right. Yeah. So I think the Manhunter is the grandson.
Interesting.
The football,
The grandson?
With the football.
the quarterback, Allstate. Yeah, right.
I think, and let me tell you why. This is
You might be cooking.
this is my out fucking crazy fucking take.
Okay.
This is my crazy fucking take. This is my crazy bird brain, because it's probably gonna end up. Watch it be like Macon. Watch it. That would be.
Yeah.
They throw us off the scent the whole time, and then at the end of it, it's Macon. But I think that it's the grandson, and I'll tell you why. Because their marriage doesn't really make any sense. The marriage of Macon's son and the sheriff,
Jason Ritter.
Yeah.
Jason Ritter, and their marriage doesn't make any sense. None of the relationships make any sense. So their marriage doesn't seem to be real. The marriage between Macon and Zoe doesn't seem to be real. It seems that there is something that is connecting all of these people and kind of making them be in proximity to one another. You don't really know like why they're all together. And there's probably something at the center of it. And the only person that's like not involved in that doesn't have any agency would be the most powerful one, and that would be the kid. And the kid would be the unnamed person that runs everything. The benefactor, right? This kind of ancient, like whatever thing that has taken the most innocent form for all of us, and it would be the kid.
It also would make that football scene now makes a lot of sense because you're just like, is this a random scene where it's basically just to get us to the point where John sees Zoe and is like, grandmother, da-da-da. It might make more sense that they put that there to be like, no, the Manhunter has been looking at John this entire fucking time.
There's only one scene that disproves it. Is the end of the first season of the kid is the Manhunter thing.
Right.
The end of the first episode, he goes, he's playing football now. Is he any good? He's All-State.
Well, he could have laid low for that whole. If he's discovered at the end of this timeline, this first timeline, 2016, is clearly no, or maybe not. Maybe John knows something.
Wait, but he's been there for what? Since the Manhunter. So Hal is like the Manhunter must have killed Abin Sur when he got to Rushville. So that would mean he would have been there 20 years.
Yeah, but
he can take other shapes,
but taking other shapes.
So, all right, and this is why I don't want to brush past the Zoe part because she has a conversation with John, which is a very interesting conversation between two characters that have white partners, and it would be a very funny joke if William was married to essentially what is an alien and a manhunter, where it was just like, you see it all the time, the white dude who really racist, but he got like an Asian wife or a Latino wife, and you like, Part of me was like, is that that what the show is putting?
Yeah.
That's a bit of an, again, on the nose metaphor.
So let's do our top.
The kid, I like the kid. The kid is in the top three.
But that's definitely the
kid
last
is inspired.
One.
The kid's
inspired, but that's a Galaxy Brain in it. That's the last one. Okay. After every show, we're gonna do our Who is the Manhunter rankings. Okay.
I think Carrie's number one.
So Carrie's number one.
I think Zoe's number two.
Zoe's number two.
Kid is number three to me.
You think Kid is three?
Over Macon?
Kid, I can't. Macon is so obvious.
Yeah, Macon's
it's way too obvious.
I think Carrie is way too obvious.
You think Carrie is way too obvious?
That's why I'm like, way too obvious. Got so many answers. Is a step ahead of Hal at every point. Right? Yeah, I know this. Of course I know this.
Right.
Huh. Interesting. But you didn't want him to have jurisdiction. Maybe it's because like she mentions all the time, her and her father-in-law don't really get along. So she's trying to, get one up on him, whatever. But it just seems to me like you got a lot of answers for a lot of questions that nobody else got.
So let's talk about the two characters that the only two characters that we know are not the Manhunter is Stewart and Jordan.
Unless it is one of them.
Maybe it is, but that would be tough, right? Like that would be tough.
I'm at the point I don't even know if Hal Jordan is really dead. Like, part of me is thinking if the Manhunter can be anyone, the reason that maybe Carrie and John, when they see Hal, are like boo-hooing.
And he doesn't have the ring.
He doesn't have the ring.
He doesn't have the ring.
I'm like, did Hal fake his death to throw the Manhunter off?
Could be. So if we know that those two guys, let's say that Asher, we assume that those two guys aren't the Manhunter.
Yeah.
The only people left in the cast are Zoe, Macon, the kid, Macon's son, and Carrie.
It might be the lawyer just because a lot of times I'm like, wait, why is the lawyer in this? He really ain't doing shit. He kind of the comic relief. He's a little bit too quiet for me.
On the side.
So of those five people then, our number one Manhunter suspect is, we said Carrie.
I think Carrie.
Number two is Zoe.
Yes.
Okay. Women at
I'm
the
going
top.
3 is the kid.
You think the kid is 3?
because it
It'll
was
be
a
fun.
really
It'll be
it's a
fun.
really interesting argument.
Maybe not
I would-
the
no, no, no,
Manhunter,
no.
but a Manhunter.
I would put Jason Ritter at 3, make it or the kid at 4.
Okay, I could go with that.
And then make it
Wait,
at
so
5.
let me pitch you
Make it
this
at
because
5.
this is what I keep
All right,
watching,
just
and I'm
make,
like,
because we're breaking this out. So let's just make sure. Say it again.
Carrie 1, Zoe 2, Jason Ritter at 3, the kid at 4, and Macon at 5.
Okay.
like it.
now let me pitch you guys on this
Oh,
Lay it
because
on.
I've been like, Damon Lindelof, Monday. I've been doing this too long. Part of me thought it was budget concerns,
Tom
but
King as well.
they
CIA agent. Tom King
there's
was
no one in
CIA.
the streets
Yeah.
for the last 2 episodes. If you really think about it, like they're in a town, but they really don't be talking to too many people in the town. Part of me is like, is this a whole town of manhunters? I'm like,
Oh.
like is everyone almost a manhunter? Because I'm just like, why aren't there? Why isn't there? This isn't like a Twin Peaks thing where it's like everybody in the town is a character.
Right.
This is like they don't.
Wait a minute. What if the alien tracker in the town is not to test who is an alien,
But who isn't?
but who isn't an alien?
No.
Oh,
those
wait a
guys-
minute.
Those guys were definitely aliens.
yeah,
No,
but why
I
would you put it
know.
in a metal detector
I
where
know,
like hundreds
but
of people
what
are
if-
going in?
But what if those
Wait.
guys were aliens? But what if the thing is to figure out who's not an alien
If it doesn't,
or a
be-
different type of alien?
Maybe different types of aliens.
I'm just thinking about it's a galaxy brain take. I'm like, these fucking
Mm.
townspeople are fucking acting weird. It's not like a regular town. Maybe they all fucking manhunters.
Because think about this. The Green Lantern comes to your town to investigate whether or not your town has aliens. And you're trying to get him to leave? Like you're trying to get the Green Lantern which this is only one thing about the show that is kind of like almost, at least to this point, has been kind of under discussed, which is the Green Lantern would have essentially been like the world's first superhero, right? Or like one of them, right?
Right.
Yeah.
In 86.
If we're
He
go-
predates
no,
the Superman, correct?
Because if we're going by the Superman opening,
Metahumans have existed for a long time.
yeah, superheroes have existed in this world for a while, ever since World War
What
II.
did the opening say?
Can someone bring it up? Because
Yeah,
like,
like,
because
I
they
don't
remember
remember
they did the
Superman
mural
opening.
They did like 3
of
decades.
all the
Yeah.
heroes in the Hall of Justice. So there have been heroes since like World War II almost, I want to say.
So, okay.
Superman opening.
So the
text.
metahumans, because I don't remember what the opening
here we go.
scroll
Hang
said.
on.
What did it say?
3 centuries ago, the first superpowered beings known as the metahumans appeared on Earth.
3 centuries
Gods
ago.
and
So it's a
monsters.
long
3
time.
decades ago, an extraterrestrial baby was sent in a spacecraft to Earth, adopted by the 3 years ago, that baby, now grown, announced himself as Superman.
Okay, so that's where I got confused. I thought that Superman announced himself, and then that was superheroes came. No. Metahumans have been around for centuries.
Yes.
Right.
And so if metahumans have been around for centuries, when Green Lantern came around and they realized that they were aliens, niggas was probably like, so, nigga?
Yeah.
Right. You know what I'm saying? So that makes a lot of sense as to why
Mhm.
everybody's not freaking out more.
Mhm.
But even still, having said that, like Green Lantern is there. And rather than, oh my God, Green Lantern, help us figure out our alien problem, it's like, we got it, leave.
Yeah.
But also think about the first episode.
Yeah.
Everybody was excited to see Hal. And no one is excited to see
Not
him
in the
in
town.
Not in the
Not in
town.
town.
I was like, oh, because
Not in
Green
the
Lantern
town.
is like a celebrity. He's a hero. Everybody's trying to take pictures. I'm like, why is
Hey, let
everybody
me
in
tell you-
fucking Rushville
Let me
hating
tell y'all
him?
something right now, man. Let me tell y'all something right now. Y'all go to Voss for the theory. Shout out Boss Voss, man. Shout out my guy, Voss. Y'all go to Heavy Spoilers for the theories, man. Shout out to Paul. Shout out to Ryan Eric. You can get the theories right here too, man.
We coming from them corners.
Like you can get the theories right here too,
Come
man.
on.
Has anybody given you a theory on the level of it's the little boy?
This is some Damon Lindelof shit. Whatever with any of his TV shows, you like,
Bro, do you remember how you felt? Like you watching this whole Watchmen thing, and you're like, Dr. Manhattan is not in this.
Yeah.
They give you the story of Adrian Veidt, which was just fucking great.
Amazing.
Like little off court. Jesus Christ, everybody is fucking going crazy. And then you find out that Yaya's character, she calls him John, and then you're like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Boom. The last person you'd expect. Saying could be the kid.
I was also thinking, if Hal really is dead, a killer second season, they should flip the cop dynamic. They should let the black cop and John be in charge, and then Kyle Rayner should be the little homie.
Oh,
The little homie.
well, more
So,
Green Lantern.
I mean, we're arguing like who's the Manhunter. Who do you guys think the benefactor is? Because they spent a lot of time in this episode being like, who's funny operation?
Is the benefactor a Manhunter?
I think the benefactor is the Manhunter.
Yeah.
Please don't say they're going to do the thing where they're like, the Manhunter created iPods and blah, blah, blah.
Oh, that's how we got technology.
I like that type of shit. I like when they do that shit. Like
I was
when-
thinking like
Nah, that's a
in a smaller world or like in a they just be like it's Lex, right? Lex
or
is-
Lex or Maxwell Lord.
Yeah, something like
I'd
that.
rather that not be
Wait,
the case.
also, we have to talk about, I can't believe it's been this long, Sinestro. We get Sinestro,
At the
and
end, dude.
I
Hell
was
yeah.
fascinated.
He looked
Well,
chopped.
first of all, the Sinestro and Hal relationship in the comics is so fascinating. I always love when they're together. But part of me was like, with Sinestro, I was like, damn, that's like the second most dangerous thing you got to watch out for.
Yeah.
Now that gave me the intrigue of like, what does Sinestro know about Stewart? Because part of me is also, if Stewart has been training to be a Green Lantern since he was a kid, now I'm looking at his dad. I'm like, what? How much does his dad, the Guardians, and everyone in this?
My thought is that is Stewart's dad like either has something to do with it or knows about that crash and wanted the ring and didn't get it.
So what's interesting is they're watching Stewart. They're watching Jordan on television.
Mhm.
And the dad comes home before he takes him out and shoots the apple.
Yeah.
I want to talk to J. Alphonse about this. He's coming on Higher Learning. Okay. We might have the Midnight Boys. Like, what I'm going to start doing is this.
Commandeer a guest to the
No,
Midnight Boys.
I want you guys, I'm going to start doing midnight ambushes. I was going to call it Midnight Bush, but I can't.
You can't do
So
that.
we get a Higher Learning guest. And then you guys just show up.
Right.
You have to work on your off day. And then while the guest is in here, you guys are all mic'd and y'all just bust in and start asking their questions. We would have, because we might have J.L. Fonz and Danielle Brooks on the Midnight Boys because of the movie they got coming out.
Oh.
That's two DCU motherfuckers right there.
Peacemaker.
Peacemaker. And this, what if y'all just, we don't tell Rach shit. She'll never hear this. She'll listen to this podcast.
Right.
Like, what if y'all just run into the pod and we just start like right here, like even put beanbags down. Fuck it.
I would much
Beanbags.
rather be the punked thing where we're the Ashton Kutcher in the fucking van and we
Right.
got
we're
and
practical
Rachel,
jokers
should be Rachel
in this.
asking the question. She's like, all right, in Peacemaker season 2, then.
Everybody
That'd
would
be so
think
funny.
that Rachel was a manhunter.
Yeah.
they
That
would
would
not-
be-
Who is this and what have they done with Rachel?
Yeah, but okay. So then, if it's not to get back on track, if the benefactor is not, obviously, let's do a benefactor top 5 because the benefactor could be Maxwell Lord or Lex Luthor.
Right.
I have to be honest. That's the least compelling reveal.
Yeah.
If they were to do that.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you don't
Wait,
think
but
so?
Lex hates aliens, so that would be
does hate aliens.
That's my thing. That's my
okay,
first
that
thought.
would be interesting.
And it would make it, while it would be cool in a way, it also would be just like comic booky in a way that this show hasn't been up to this point.
Yeah, and I don't think the show wants it, and I don't think we will.
Guy Gardner is going to be in this, and also Jon Stewart is going to be in Man of Tomorrow. So if a lot
So it's
of
Lex Luthor then.
Yeah.
it might not be, but like if a lot of the underpinning of Superman and now Lanterns, the connective tissue is like, what does it mean when aliens like come to Earth? The thing that would connect John and Clark can be like, oh, we both had some run-ins with fucking Lex and the xenophobia.
I did see like a good theory because Macon spends a lot of time talking about like the past and like being colonized and all this stuff, and how he doesn't look that old, but who is old and has been on Earth forever, Vandal Savage, and I was like, is he Vandal Savage?
That might
Is
be-
he the guy? Like that might be a stretch.
That might be too
But
far.
I can't. I wish I could. I wish I had the thing on me. But shout out
Vandal
to that
Savage
guy.
is a good character. Like that would, and this is where I think the show has to balance itself where I love the show the most when it is grounded, and the comic book elements are just like fun little shots. If it gets too comic booky, that's when I'm a little bit like,
it's because of the fact that like you don't want to introduce things that are too comic booky late in the game, because then it feels like we're just like shoehorning in an expositional solution to a mystery rather than something organically happening with some of the elements that we've been having this whole time.
It's funny you mention that though, because he says the code word to get into the dimensional thing, whatever. He's like, Mogo doesn't socialize. And I was like, I know that. That's a reference I understand.
Understood that reference.
Mogo, the living planet.
Yeah.
There's like a famous story where like Mogo doesn't socialize because he's a living planet that has a Green Lantern ring, and he can't hang out with other planets because his gravitational pull is too strong and destroys him. So he stays to himself. And I was like, that's a sick reference.
Yeah.
Nice.
Is the benefactor perhaps a character that's not in the show, that a character that will be introduced as a new character?
Could be.
They can't do the Sharon Carter thing from Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Well, what do you mean? Why? Like, what do you mean?
The power broker.
The power broker.
I was the power broker the whole
Who's
time.
the power broker?
Man, I'm really glad you brought that up because it's only been 2 episodes, and
95% Rotten Tomatoes.
We had a great time at D23. Shout out Disney. Shout out Marvel. It's crazy how they're doing Secret Invasion better than Secret Invasion did Secret Invasion.
Yeah, some people have been saying that. Yeah.
Like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. did Secret Invasion better over like, God knows, like 16 episodes or whatever with the LMD arc and the Agents of Hydra arc. But through 2 episodes, I'm like, yo, y'all are frying these guys. Samuel L. Jackson, what's the character?
Ben Mendelsohn.
Yeah, didn't stand a chance, bro.
No.
They getting lapped through 2 episodes. It's nasty.
So do you think that what is interesting about Lanterns to be is the most excited I feel like people have been about the DC universe since Superman is from a project that seems to be as far away from the James Gunn aesthetic and what James Gunn loves. And to me, that's interesting. Not because James Gunn is very talented, but part of me is I'm like, does DC in the halls of DC, are they like, yeah, people might want something a little bit different?
So let me tell you why I don't think, first of all, we have to finish our who is the fucking thing. You know what? Fuck it. You guys don't want to play my little games? Fuck you guys.
What
we
are you
tried to
talking
play
about?
two cool little games. I wanted to, who are the top
We said
5
Lex
niggas?
Luthor.
Lex Luthor, but we didn't finish it because Jomi started talking about Mogo the planet nigga with the ring, and then we didn't fit. Well, I like
God
play my
forbid
little
I
games.
explain something. God forbid I
You're right.
explain
That was
something.
actually right. He's explaining. That's right. Okay. But no, to your point, if they did, which I doubt that they do, because nigga, we need some hits, baby. Okay? Remember what Chris Rock said about Ricky Martin? Ricky need a hit.
Yeah.
Living La Vida Loca, Ricky need a hit. So I don't think that they do, but I also think that if we're smart about it, a show like this establishes the railroad track for the entire fucking place to like glide over. This Superman was proof positive that you could tell a compelling Superman story at this particular time. Was it the Superman story that everyone was used to seeing? Was it a little bit subversive to the idea of Superman? Sure, true. This one, though, is, to me, proof positive that inside of this world that you're creating, that you could like weave grounded story connected to the human experience and condition, the types of stories that make for fertile extraction of superhero ideas. And so I think that in a way, this is, well, I can't say that. I think that in a way, this is almost as important as Superman. It's definitely not more important.
No, I don't think it's more important. It's just, it's not lost on me that before the MCU could do Guardians of the Galaxy or Thor Ragnarok, they had to do Iron Man. They had to do stuff like Winter Soldier, because to me, you have to create the grounded level part of your world before you can get really comic booky. That's what I think was maybe the problem with Supergirl, which is like they were almost a little bit ahead of the curve. And it's ironic that the most intergalactic comic book characters, the thing that we are attached to the most with this show is the emotion, is the character dynamics, are the smaller. 90% of this show is if you believe in Kyle Chandler, if you believe in Aaron Pierre and their chemistry and what they're fighting for, everything else kind of works for itself. Like,
But so let's stay here for 1 second because I think this is really interesting. And let's talk about the specificity of the characters. Iron Man, you have to start with who he is as a human person because he is inspired to become a superhero. He makes his suit out of self-preservation, almost desperation. And then the creation of his suit and what happens leads to a higher calling. That was a lot of those Marvel characters at the beginning, except for Thor. Thor was a space god who had to be sent to Earth to have a human experience, to understand what it was like to be a hero, to connect, to be exiled from his parents and all of that stuff. That's why that was a smart decision for them to write that story that way. DC they didn't really, maybe they tried to do it with Superman and Supergirl, but they kind of failed, right? They really didn't. Superman, I think, was very successful. Supergirl was, we talk about with the movie, its shortcomings. Its shortcomings weren't to me in, its shortcomings weren't in ambition, they were almost all in execution. If you told me you're going to do a Supergirl story where she's going to be like an intergalactic planet hopper, going from planets that have yellow suns to planets that don't have yellow suns, and her power is going to be up, down, but with her and this little girl, they're going to find out what a hero is and what she needs to do, and at the end, her arc is going to be finished. She needs to come back and be a hero. I'm like, that works. You just got to do it right. And that's and what it ended up happening is that they didn't. But to your point, that's a much harder story to do right than this one is. That is when if you're gonna do a story like that right, you almost gotta have James Gunn, a prime James Gunn, an MVP fucking Braun 2010 James Gunn that was cooking up Guardians. Like, yeah, I'm not saying that he's out of his MVP years. I'm saying that like in that
that's not the Braun I would have went with.
What's the Braun you would have went with?
Like 2012, 2013 Braun? Or you even could have went 2018 Braun.
You're good. Okay, that's whatever Braun you say. You're the Braun. You're the Braun sexual of this podcast. So you take that Braun, right? The top of it, and then you do Guardians of the Galaxy. Well, you're able to take these characters who have all of these powers, and they're still pretty human. They're still pretty grounded characters, but you're able to take that world and make it happen. I think Supergirl, it wasn't the ambition or the try. They didn't execute.
But also the best part of Supergirl was the chemistry between Millie Alcock and Corn Sweat. And that's where I'm like, oh, Lanterns is succeeding because when you're in these fantastical worlds, a lot of times in these movies or TV shows, I'm like, WandaVision works because you have two characters at the center of it. When it gets a little crazy, that I can lock on them and be like, I'm in safe hands.
Her trauma was the star of the show.
Falcon and the Winter Soldier, same thing. I think Falcon and the Winter Soldier was good because Anthony Mackie and Sebastian Stan are good together.
Yes.
And like Supergirl did not have that. She did not have that running mate to be like, okay, I'm gonna make you believe in this world even when shit gets a little rocky. And I think that's just a credit to the fact that like Aaron Pierre is really good. Kyle Chandler, he put up.
He's the man.
Because there's some parts in this where I'm like, dog, you have to sell me on some bullshit, some exposition dumb bullshit. And Kyle Chandler was like, dog, come on.
He was walking through that weird community college campus in order to see Sinestro in prison, and I was digging it.
I'm glad you brought Sinestro back up because he says this thing you mentioned earlier.
I did look like a community college campus.
No, that shit looked like Elac.
It's just like, the community college with a really fancy library.
He was out there at Greendale? Come on, man.
Right.
Nah, he mentions like the second biggest threat. Do you think he is actually like talking about a threat? Or is he like, yo, man, your boy John, man, they out here saying he the man now. I was told that you was the big boss, but everybody there, I be hearing John this, John that. There's no how. Your name don't ring out in the streets no more.
If we go into the comic books, if you know the comic books, the Manhunters, precursors to the Green Lanterns, essentially created by, I believe in the comic books, they're created by the Guardians. The Guardians realized they fucked up, and they used the rings.
Yes, to keep them in check.
So part of me is like, is there a connection between not only John and the Guardians, but something with the Manhunters? And they feel like, hey, Stewart might be the next evolution of the Green Lantern.
Do you think in episode 3 this is going to be why we learned a bit more why Sinestro turned coat?
Well, why, to your point, why does Jordan have to go to Sinestro and ask him about Manhunters?
Yeah.
Like, why does he? Jordan is the fucking big swinging dick of the Guardians. He's their star. He's their celebrity.
Green Lantern.
He's the Green Lantern.
Well, no, because typically in the comic books, even though he is the guy, he's very much a Maverick in Top Gun, where the Guardians can't control Hal. So almost they're like, fuck you. They don't tell him anything, which is why I think in the first episode, he told his ring, yo, stop updating and stop sending that shit to the Guardians. I don't trust them. And I think their way to get someone they can control in this sector is John,
Which, by
because
the way,
he's kind of a motionless soldier.
Do we know how long canonically it was when he put Sinestro away? Was it
I'm not
about 10 years
sure.
ago?
I'm not sure.
But here's the deal, though. So he's McNulty, right? So here's the deal. So he's McNulty. Cool. He's McNulty. John is Lester.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
Sure.
crazy.
Lester Freeman.
Like he's McNulty. John is Lester. The Guardians are Daniels. Rest in peace. Who is Sinestro?
Who is Sinestro?
Omar.
About
Omar?
Omar?
Maybe that's to be proven in episode 3 because we don't really know
It's
what type
not,
of.
It's not Avon?
He's nope.
I was gonna say either Avon or Stringer, but probably a mixture.
Yeah, probably
guess Stringer.
Avon, because you can't really get good information from Stringer. Stringer's gonna tell you all the wrong shit to do. I'll tell you something, man. Something that Bomani Jones and Jamel Hill have never been writer about is when you go back and you watch the show, just how many times Stringer fucked up. Now, Stringer also did a lot of things that were very smart,
Right.
but Stringer fucked up a lot.
His win-loss ratio is not
Well,
good.
here's the
he had
thing.
some
When
big
I was
losses,
watching it
bro.
the first time, I did not realize. I was like,
Stringer, all of us, we were like, man, that nigga Stringer a fucking genius. And like,
Stringer took one
No.
macroeconomics class and started coming back to the hood, acting like he was better than everyone.
but I want y'all to go back and watch that scene. Go back and watch that
Wearing
scene.
glasses.
Look, go back and watch that scene. Stringer, he was waiting to get his shit off. You ever been around your homie that learned some new shit?
It's the
And he
Jalen
could-
Brown meme at the college.
Yeah, he's looking up. He's like, what you have here is an elastic product. And I'm like, oh, come on, Stringer. But Sinestro, so, back to Jordan, your point about how Jordan is well taken, that he is a maverick. In this situation, though, this is an incredibly dangerous group or race of people, things, or aliens that he doesn't have very much knowledge about, to the point that he has to go talk to Sinestro about it. Sinestro seems like he's interested in horse trading information because he wants to know about Stewart. But what is the reason that Jordan would not have information about the Manhunters?
But also think about how he got the ring. Abin Sur was either running from something or trying to hide something.
Right.
And what's interesting to me is like maybe this is a change of the mythos that I need to understand more. Usually in DC Comics, the ring finds the closest worthy person in that sector to get the ring. It seems like in this universe, Abin Sur almost was looking for someone who would be like an antagonist or would have not only the willpower, but would be fearless enough to help him in some way with whatever was going to happen with the Manhunters. So part of me, and that's what I think is interesting, if John Stewart is the character that was handpicked by the Guardians and Hal was picked because Abin Sur was looking for someone who could go against them, how do both of them fight against the Manhunters?
And that would explain why, like, when he's talking in episode 1, when he's like, this is not how this usually goes. There's usually only one Green Lantern.
Yeah.
They don't really train people. The Guardians are out there like, nah, man, we got to get this guy out of here. He's wilding too much. We need somebody. We need to install our own proxy. That makes a lot of sense.
It's so crazy now. Guy Gardner now just became the most fascinating person in this universe to me now.
I'm so interested in what's going to happen when he shows
To
up.
know that he is an active Green Lantern in this 2026 timeline, and he will be in the show in some degree. what is his connection to this? Because he has to interact with Guardians. He has to have some sort of directive about these things.
Who gave him the ring?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that,
Also,
is
why
that
did-
not
why
John's
did-
ring, or is it somebody else's ring, or is it his own ring?
Why didn't the Guardians want humans to have rings is also interesting.
Yeah.
Because Hal basically is like, this was a backwater. Like,
Yeah.
so I'm interested.
And now in this time, Guy has a ring.
Man,
now.
we got to stop that, bro. Backwater. Sector 2814 is the most important sector of all time because it got 9 people with rings in this universe.
I mean, you usually send them to the most troubled areas.
Still, though, man, it's what do you call it? Obviously, John, Hal, Jessica Cruz, Simon Baz, Guy Gardner, Kyle Rayner.
Mhm.
Like everybody got a ring. They just handed them things out like candy. Clearly, Sector 2814 is really important because you need
Well, the
6
block's a
Green
little
Lanterns.
hot, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it's the ghetto. Like maybe that's a surge. They need more police.
They just that's
Milky
what
Way
it's
ghetto.
I mean,
like.
that's, I mean, like they think about it. That's what they do with the police, man. Like they say, some people would say defund the Green
It's
Lantern
South
Corps.
Central in the 90s.
Like Joe
bro.
Biden would say, I'm gonna fund the Green Lantern Corps. You know what I'm
Fun
saying?
Green Lanterns is crazy.
Like they're like the Sinestro
We're
look
giving
like
the
Joe
Green
Biden.
Lantern shock
Sinestro
lens.
goes on MSNBC. He's like, we defunding the
So-
Green
and
Lantern.
everybody's like, hey, defund the Green Lanterns, defund the Green Lanterns, defund the Green Lanterns. And they're like, no, we gonna fund the Green Lanterns. Before you know it, it's people with rings all over the place.
I
man.
mean, if we
Give
go
them
to the
body
comic
cams.
books,
Mhm.
Hal Jordan
Body
was
ca- they need
body
body
cam-
cams.
body
Hey,
cam the Green
Steve,
Lanterns.
Talk your shit. Hey, these Green
Body
Lanterns.
cams on the Green
bro.
Lanterns is
Hey,
crazy.
bro. Hey,
My
Steve,
body cam ran out of charge. I
talk
don't
your
know.
shit. That's what they would do.
Yeah.
That's what. Hold on.
Wait. First of
That's
all,
why he's not charging the motherfucking thing. Hold wait,
Body cam came out.
bro, this shit is propaganda,
so
dog.
he can shoot.
So look, he stopped updating the shit.
Yeah.
He
turned his
stopped
body cam
updating
off.
the shit, and he didn't have his shit because he didn't have his body camera. The green is a body camera.
Oh my god!
The Green Lanterns need body cameras.
I'll
bro.
tell you what,
Ally.
man. I'll be honest with you. LAPD probably one of the most corrupt systems, police just in general. Guardians of it's either 1A or 1B, or they just a notch above.
Yeah.
Them guys is nasty,
But
bro.
here's the thing, between Hal Jordan becoming Parallax, Jon Stewart fucking destroying a whole planet in the comics, there is a part where I'm like, yeah, man,
Body
y'all
camera.
do need body cams. Like,
Yeah, they do. They do.
need body
they have
cam.
one bad day, they nuke a whole planet.
First of all, he got the ring. So I got it from an alien and all of that stuff. Maybe you did. We don't know if that happened.
Yeah.
We don't know how you got that.
That's your
Or-
story.
Or
Killed him himself, took it off his
Ew,
body.
Yeah.
took his ring. But we wouldn't know because there's no body cameras on.
That's
the
so
alien.
funny. If a
There's no-
Green Lantern crashes on Earth, go, bop, 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 it just
I'm telling you,
takes it.
like, it's like, oh, hey, what was the
Takes
movie?
a cop car.
What was the movie? Oh, that was Menace to Society. We was like, hey, homie, can I help you, homie? Boom, boom.
Yeah.
Fuck you, nigga. Let's ride. Hey, homie, you need some help? Boom, boom, boom. That happened in Menace to Society.
Yo, I haven't started crashing in Chicago would be so. Little nerd
Walks up to
King
him
Von
behind
running around.
Take him out, take the ring. Man, shout out to
Jay,
Chicago.
baby.
Y'all working on you. I don't want to.
You gotta be cool. You gotta make
Yeah,
sure.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
King Von with
Gotta
the
make
Green
sure.
Lantern ring is
Tory
hilarious.
Brooks, Rooftop. I don't want to, indict any communities, but
Green Lanterns this, Green
you
Lanterns
crash
that.
that
Green
bitch in
Lanterns
Baton Rouge, it's gonna be a bunch of green Lamborghinis driving around. Motherfucker. You crash that bitch in Baton Rouge. Crash in Baton Rouge. Crash in Baton Rouge. It's gonna be green Lamborghinis. It's gonna be green Balenciaga. It's gonna be green chains. It's gonna be niggas. It's gonna be the Emerald City. Baton Rouge is gonna be the Emerald City.
What construct would you make if you like in the club trying to impress a lady?
Oh shit! What a great question. Like you in the club?
You in a club with the
Oh, green
ring.
money gun.
Green
money
gun. You shooting the green money all over the place. You know what I'm saying? And then like a whole ass nigga try to grab the money, you grab and you
Right.
just bitch
Now
ass
you
nigga,
in the
get
strip
outta
club, you slapping the strippers' asses with the construct.
here. But see, they gonna get mad.
giant
Nah,
hand.
bro, you gotta
A
that's gotta be
giant
real
hand.
money, man.
Because they
You gotta
can't,
support
they
them,
can't
man. You gotta
spend it,
support
bro.
them,
They
yeah.
can't spend the construct money. Maybe they could
Nah.
spend it if they was with Jon Stewart.
construct
Just
a
keep the money
section.
going.
Oh no, you can like.
Construct a section.
I mean, you could really just like you could construct a DJ, right? And have the DJ play the hits. You know?
I mean, you could, but they already got the DJ in the club.
nah, but I'm saying, but like, think about it.
You could construct the whole fucking club is what you could construct.
Honestly, if they was real, they would put the actual DJ Green Lantern in this. Be like, come on. This one for y'all.
Wow.
This
See,
one
they
for
don't
y'all.
do that type of shit. You know who did that? This is why I respect Marvel. Marvel put a Ghostface in it, but they took him out of it.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah.
They took him out of it.
Yeah.
Like they put him in
the
there,
first
but
one,
they
yeah.
took him
Mhm.
out of it. You know what I'm saying? But
But they still had his music playing on the plane scene when they were going to
yeah, that
Yeah.
was like a little work. Like he's listening to Iron Man.
Mhm.
Man, shout out DJ Green Lantern. All right. Now we've pretty much hit all the most important parts of this episode in terms of like expound upon them. But we leave this episode with Jordan talking to Sinestro.
Mhm.
We're probably going to begin the next episode either with a continuation of this conversation, or maybe it could be a bottle episode or whatever. It comes back to it. How important is this conversation between Sinestro and Jordan to the rest of the show?
Essential.
I think it is so important. My question is, are we going to get it? Are we going to get the full what Sinestro tells Hal? Because part of what's interesting in this episode especially is Stewart does not know how much he can trust Hal, and Hal doesn't know how much he can trust John. So part of me is, I'm like, what is Sinestro going to tell Hal that is going to either get him to turn against John, look at him differently,
Yeah.
or once again, is Sinestro going to try to manipulate Hal?
Right. Well, this is the thing that I loved about the Sinestro-Hal relationship in the comics, is that like there's a reverence that they have for each other.
Yes.
More or less. Like there's a deep respect for a while that they have. And it's more so like they're on the wrong sides of the law. And Sinestro he's not a shit stirrer, at least when it comes to Hal like this. I wouldn't hope so. I think it's more of like, what is he going to fear is he going to instill in Hal to make him think that he's going to just crash out and keep the ring for himself and distrust John entirely?
Yeah, my thing is like, what's Sinestro's motivation, right? Because not going to do.
He almost has none. He came to him.
But he's not just going to do Hal a favor for the love of the game.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Like, that's my dog.
Right.
Yeah. We used to have battles, but here's some info for you. Like, no, what does he get in exchange? Is it, I think I like what you said, to instill fear in Hal.
Mhm.
And I think like that's probably what's going to be like, hey, man, Galaxy's crazy. These Manhunters running around, bro. You scared? You want to pick up the yellow ring?
Also, how does he know so much? He's been stuck in jail. How does he know all this stuff about Stewart? How does he know?
I would wager, he's like, Sinestro was like a good Green Lantern, right? He was probably more diligent and less of a maverick than Hal was until, decided to take the yellow ring. So, the Guardians of Oa probably let him in on some information,
No, but that was 10 years ago. If
Let
he's
him in about information about John Stewart.
About
That would be insanely dangerous.
About the Manhunters.
About the Manhunters.
About the Manhunters.
No,
John, they talking about him in the mess hall. They like, yo, you heard about that new one, John, bro?
they're trying to replace your boy Hal.
You know what I'm saying? That's what I think like part of it is gonna be. But I would imagine that since Sinestro like was a Green Lantern before Hal, if I recall correctly. Like he would know.
That was his mentor, yeah.
Yeah, he would know more about the stuff, and they would let him know about the Manhunters before they told John. Or Hal, sorry.
Yeah. So much intrigue.
Love it.
Yeah.
So much intrigue.
Show's
And then-
great.
Show's really
Show's
fucking cooking.
Show's great.
Show's cooking. All right, we're out of here. We're gonna be talking about lanterns every single fucking time. We got so much stuff to cover. There's gonna be a special Jomi the explainer coming that Jomi doesn't know about, but he
No,
will
it's not.
do it. Okay. Because there's one thing that's tripping up the audience of the show. The audience of the show is expecting John Jones, the Martian Manhunter,
Right.
to maybe show up in this show.
Mm.
Now, I'll say this
I do not want that to happen.
is that the
It better not
Manhunters
happen.
that we're talking about right now are not Martian Manhunter.
No.
It's too different.
Jomi's gonna do a special social explainer on that,
Right.
either for social or as a special. That's gonna be Jomi.
I'll get right on it.
That's a
Jomi's
Jomi
gonna do
ISO.
that. Yeah, that's a little ISO for Jom Skittle. And we should also say that we have news that we will be having a panel at Comic-Con,
Which
Yes.
Comic-Con?
New York Comic-Con,
Ooh, boy.
and that panel will be hosted by our very own Steve Ahlman.
They picked the one white guy to do it.
Yeah.
It's gonna be fun.
It's gonna be fun. I don't know what we're gonna do. Do we know what we're gonna
We talked about it.
Things are in process.
Keep some surprises.
Yeah, keep some intrigues.
surprises?
I need all y'all wearing Butters, all y'all wearing Tims.
Can I ask
Is
a
that
question?
what the
Come
yeah?
on.
Can I show up in the Yankee fitted?
Yeah. I be wearing a
Charles,
Dodgers
this
hat.
is your turf. We're
Yeah,
in Chucky
who do we need
land.
to check in with?
We're
Yeah,
in
Who do we
Chucky
check in
land.
with?
We can check in
There's
with
no
you.
checking in.
I do have to check
Well,
in.
Dave Jacoby, every time I come, fucking Dave Jacoby, every time I come to New York and I'm there, Dave Jacoby asked me, why didn't you check in?
I gotta check in with Stefan. I make New York. What?
Honestly, you know what?
No.
Mhm.
I gotta check. I know who I have to check in. You know, big pick Poppy. You know what I'm saying? I gotta check in with my
right.
man.
Bobby Wagner?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Big Bobby Wags. Bibby Wags.
B Wags in this bitch.
Oh wait, you know, Big Cuh. That's who we need to check in with.
Big Cub Lindbergh.
Lindy,
Right,
bro.
right.
We gotta check
That's
in with
who
my
you
We
man.
gotta
better.
check in with Lindbergh. We gotta check
Big
in with
Cub
Lindbergh.
Lindbergh. Motherfucking War, WOBA, all of that shit. ERA. You gotta check in.
Yeah, okay, all right.
OPS plus.
OPS plus. You gotta check in with Big Cub Lindbergh.
That whip, man, better be low.
Whip.
Yeah. That's
Do you think Lindbergh could be a
Walks,
Woo
hits per
affiliate?
inning pitch. I know what whip is, but it would just be very funny if Ben. Think about if Ben is talking to you, he's talking to us about baseball, and Ben goes, "Yeah, you guys like whip?"
Oh no.
Come on, man.
We're like, "What?" Like, I think whip is one of the best things that you can use to evaluate someone.
But only
I like whip.
only if he's like actually doing
It's
the,
like a lot of people talk about a lot of stats, but you, Charles, I think you need to know about whip. He's like, what? One of the best ways you can find out how effective
Jesus Christ.
someone that you've invested into is
Oh boy.
to calculate their whip. Programming reminders. Thursday, House of R revisits Oppenheimer. Also this Thursday, Button Mash gives you the GTA 6
Extended loop.
Mhm.
extended look. They're gonna have all kinds of things. They're gonna have WOBA, War, ERA,
Mhm.
Whip. Okay,
Yeah.
all of that stuff on Ben. You never know when Ben would just talk about baseball.
WRC.
WRC,
Yeah.
WOBA Plus,
Yeah.
all these different stats.
Yeah.
All right, that the Dodgers are failing at right now.
Yeah.
Our producers today are Aleya Zenieris, Jacob Hornet, Devon Baroldi, Jamie Yukich, Jomi Adeniran on socials. # body cams off.
Stays off.
Stays off. There's no why.
Ew,
Oh.
# body cam
I don't like
stays off.
I don't like it. I don't like
Additional
that.
production from Arjuna Ramgopowell. Chuck takes out.
Check in with Big Cuh. We got more New York announcements in the tuck. Green Lanterns is amazing, and Gambit still sucks.
Why are they find you? It's bad.
We got to clear out real quick. We got to talk about the Gambit thing. Is there anything you want to say to people?
Fuck them.
Even though you were technically wrong and you did make a list that states...
Gambit came in at 22. Here's the thing. This is what I'm also realizing.
They still gonna be pissed off. That's not gonna be good enough. for them.
in typical Midnight Boys fashion,
Mhm.
motherfuckers did not know how we were ranking because motherfuckers started arguing about who is it an Omega level mutant, who could be who, blah, blah, blah. So when we do the official rankings, we do need to figure out what does top 25 mean? Are we talking about popularity? Are we talking about iconic? Are we talking about importance to like the mythos, or are we power scaling?
I mean,
I'm not power
in
scaling.
all respects, Cannonball is still crazy.
Cannonball is more powerful than Gambit.
He's more powerful than
And
Gambit.
has
It
way better
depends. It depends. It depends because if Sinister removed part of Gambit's brain, so if not, maybe Gambit is this huge, gigantic, living, walking, kinetic weapon that is different. But like in the way they're written in the comic books, the Gambit that we know, Cannonball is more powerful. I want to let you know something. So we've done a lot of polls in the history of the Midnight Boys.
Yeah.
And these polls normally have winners.
Yeah.
And if you get swacked in a poll, the percentage would be like 70 to 30.
Mhm.
This poll is 95-5.
And?
And
Nigga, Trump is in office. I don't care. The people are wrong.
Trump is so...
Like 95. So, we do a poll. It's like who won the argument. It's like 60-40, Steve beat Jomi, Charles beat Van, whatever. This one is 95.5.
BTA.
Hey, and guess what? Posterity will prove me right because a motherfucker's like, Gambit. I ain't seen nobody drop no Gambit comics. I see nobody talk about Taylor Kitsch. I don't see nobody bringing up anything. He going off one fucking cartoon. So niggas like, hey, give me the reading list because I still haven't seen it. I still haven't seen all these great Gambit comics that y'all motherfuckers are trying to tell me to read.
Okay, let's talk this out before we get into Landon's episode. to you, just so people know, what is the criteria that you are basing this off of?
So I think I more heavily weight in my rankings of the top 25 X-Men characters that are not only important to the mythos, not just popularity, but more so, what are the X-Men comics that decade over decade keep coming into books? Other writers want to write them. They can be not only in TV shows, but they can be in movies. And that doesn't mean like, yes, Gambit is more popular, but if you look at like a character like Emma Frost, I ranked Emma Frost over Gambit. Emma Frost isn't more popular, but if you look in the comics, if you look in the movies, if you look in the recent MCU of it all, she is a character that is not only fundamental to the X-Men, but so many writers want to use her over and over again because she is not a cliche. And I think a lot of the Gambit is like nostalgia of, he was so popular in the 90s. I remember him from the cartoon. But then I'm like, okay, but tell me like the iconic moments of Gambit in the comics. And it is a very short period of time. And usually when we're talking about, I don't know, Giant Size X-Men, Astonishing X-Men, House of X Powers of 10, just legendary runs, Gambit is never in them.
Well, yeah, okay, so this is what I would say. So then you're talking about more so the prestige of the character.
Yeah, and just like the importance of storytelling in terms of just like when we're talking about the classic storylines, how many of them include this character? They don't have to be front and center, but it's like Dark Phoenix Saga, like whatever it is. When I was an X-Men reader, I, as a kid, liked Gambit. And then I grew up and I was like, Gambit he doesn't really do much shit. Like he's cool, like he's a cool background character. We're like, oh, that's Gambit. Then you're like, there's the death of Gambit. There's a lot of the stuff that Claremont was doing with him in the 90s with Jim Lee and everything. And people have been bringing up the death of Gambit, but I read that as a kid. It's not a great comic. It's just iconic because he becomes a horseman. What are the other like, if you're like, what are your favorite Cyclops stories, Magneto stories, even Ice Angel? People are like, how can you say Archangel? I'm like, Archangel has, whether it's X Factor, whether it's X-Force, whether it's the original 5, Angel has a lot of good comics and good storylines. Gambit has the Reavers.
Right, I mean, to me, this is the way I look at it. So I hear that argument. I think it's actually a compelling one. I just think with comics, people are talking about the characters that they like. And if you start talking about X-Men who really have like super important, weighty story arcs, the list starts to get very, very short.
I don't think so.
I do. I think the list starts to get very, very short. I think the list of X-Men who, they're X-Men that are staple characters, right? But the list of X-Men that you are going to say, this character is super important here, and this character is, you're really going to start, because they lean on a lot of the same characters over
There's
and
a
over
top
again.
like 10, 15 where it's like, there's a reason Nightcrawler, Storm, Wolverine, Cyclops, Colossus, those are the like mainstays like here.
Yeah, but like, even like a Colossus, people are going to be like, I like Gambit better. I mean, look, people had different, there was a point where Longshot
had a moment.
Like, there was a point where Longshot was like, you know what I mean? There's all kinds of stuff. But, man, it's just, and this is another American thing, it's just difficult sometimes to just, like, not be in favor of the straight up coolest motherfucker around. And
He's so cool.
he's
Like,
cool.
Gambit
Really cool.
is one of the coolest characters. Like,
Yeah.
if we're talking about just iconic, if we were talking like iconic X-Men, he would probably make my top 10, top 15. But if we like add like story and like, oh, even in movies, they've tried to get Gambit right twice and they failed twice.
Yeah. They haven't gotten Jean Grey right.
All right. I would
Famke
say,
Janssen-
no. In that original trilogy, Jean Grey was not bad.
So she wasn't bad, but like, to be honest with you, in the original, and now here comes my hot take, in the original X-Men trilogy, the characters that they really got they really nailed Wolverine,
Professor X, Magneto.
and Xavier and Magneto. Those were the ones they nailed.
Right.
Everybody else was cool.
I'm trying to think of Nightcrawler. Nightcrawler was really good in X2.
He was.
Really
nailed
good.
him. Like the characters that were nailed. I'm not saying any of these portrayals were bad. They weren't.
Oh, yeah.
I would actually almost say that Cyclops was pretty close to
Who Cyclops was at that time.
Who Cyclops
Yes.
exactly should have been. Cyclops, so I'll throw Cyclops in there. But like, they haven't really nailed the Dark Phoenix thing.
Mhm.
No.
It's always a harbinger of like.
Yeah.
So like to me, when I look at what you're saying, Gambit not being in a good movie character is also because I feel like the X-Men universe never got to the place where Gambit had a place in it.
Okay.
Because
fair.
because he's a character that's more that shows up when the universe is pretty expansive. And they were still trying to expand and get Dark Phoenix right. They tried it twice. It kind of didn't work either time. Like when they get to have Gambit in there, you need a little flair in there.
Well, the joke, I mean, you were talking about he's connected to Rogue, like all his cool moments are with Rogue. Like, I mean, Anna Paquin was cool as Rogue, but
Actually, I'll give her. She was
cool.
I liked her as
I don't
Rogue.
think it
wasn't
nailed
a
the
per-
essence
but
of the
like,
character,
At that
but-
time, I thought that was a very good Rogue.
At the time, it was a very good Rogue, but it was not the Rogue from the comic books in any way, shape, or form.
No.
Right.
Well, this is what I also wanted to bring up. That's what scares me, which is like, I think the sugar shit works in the like comics and in the TV show. If Indy doing that shit in the movies, I think that type of accent can implode. Like she needs to have a Southern accent. But that's also my problem with Gambit and Rogue. A lot of times when you take them out of that context, they become goofy.
Right.
Like if you give them too much of an accent, if you make them too much of a cliche, you're watching a cartoon instead of like a live action, realistic.
Like, you really
character.
can't take Channing Tatum too seriously as Gambit.
Every
with
single
that
time he's in
outrageous
the
accent.
Doomsday trailer, I laugh a little bit.
But okay, so you're also talking about just a critique of the character in and of itself. He's not as grounded as character as some of the other characters are. That's
Well, it's
fair.
not to say that he can't be. It's just more we haven't seen a grounded portrayal.
Well, I mean, if you're gonna give us a little Gambit, if you're gonna give us Gambit, you got to go there. Like the Gambit's got to be.
You want him to the Cajun full, thick accent, simping.
Well, first of all, respect my heritage.
Right.
I'm not a Cajun, but the Cajun people.
So this will be my last question.
But you can't do Gambit and not do that.
you can't halfway do Gambit.
Yeah,
Sure.
you can't do it like the way Channing Tatum's doing it is like he's winking and nodding at the audience. But
Yeah.
like you can do Gambit's a Cajun. He's a Cajun. It's a part of who he is.
It's
It's like making Storm from Philly.
Storm
Shout
from
out
Philly
to
would
Philly,
be
though.
crazy.
Storm from Philly.
Storm
would
from
be
North Philly.
Even if we're
so
talking about
funny.
X-Men from the
Water.
90s.
Hey, take some water.
Wood ice.
This is
Would
this
you?
will be
Joe.
water.
All right.
Hey, this is Storm from Philly. Hey, water.
My
hold
least
on,
favorite
hold on.
moment
That
from
John over
Philly
there,
is when they have the John conversation.
Yeah,
John,
yeah.
John.
I want Storm for Philly. I want Storm
I'm so
waking
sorry,
up,
Cliff.
Jill Scott playing in the background. You know what I mean? I want Storm like with incense. You know, the whole shot, man, we fucking with you, Steve. We love you. We love
Why
you, Steve.
Jill Scott?
We love
I
you,
know who
Steve.
you are.
We love
who
you.
you are.
We want Storm, Jill Scott, and the Roots playing in the background. And I was like, hey, yo, what's that Jordan talking to Professor Xavier?
Who that
Got a little,
John?
like Black Panther's my little John. Water. This is what Storm would do. Water she makes it rain.
Water.
Water.
Nah, she
Water.
started making it rain. Meek Mill freestyle on.
I'm fucking
I
with
used
that.
to front like this with guys like this.
All right, in terms of 90s X-Men, would you name him number one then?
Nah, Wolverine.
But what I'm saying is, even
Cable
if we're
too?
talking about, people
Cable,
are like,
yeah, Cable.
Gambit's easily top 5, top 10. I'm like, so you think Gambit is more important than like a Deadpool or Cable?
But
Because
the-
I don't.
But you're saying more important. That's not what they're saying. They're saying top X-Men. Now, if you go more important X-Men, there are gonna be a lot of X-Men in there that people don't have. Like if you do most important X-Men,
I'm more so
obviously
talking about the most important X-Men across, like, we're talking about the
canon.
mythos. Gambit to me isn't top 5, top 10. Like, Deadpool and Cable are way more important, especially if we're like, these are 90s X-Men. I have way more, there's way more better Cable Deadpool stories than there are Gambit stories.
Well, I mean, true. I mean, Cable is going to be in that top for me, especially being a fan of the 90s X-Men more than anything, right? People bring up, like, for example, you said Magic, right? And then I was like, Magic, and then people reminded me that Magic has some phenomenal comics,
Yeah.
especially as of late.
Yeah.
Even the New Mutants, what's the bear, the bear story? They did the movie on it, where all the New Mutants go to fucking Alaska
Yeah.
or whatever. Like,
Oh,
that's
right.
I love that story. Like,
Right.
Magic has good comics.
She has good comics. So to me, when I look at the 90s characters, it was X-Men Blue, X-Men Gold, but then it was a lot of the expanded stuff. So Cable was insanely important. Deadpool was insanely important.
Is Deadpool mutant or an X-Men?
Deadpool's in
He's in
it.
it.
Yeah.
He's in there. I mean,
It's like Juggernaut.
I
Juggernaut is an X-Men, even though he's not a mutant.
I wouldn't put him in this. I'm just talking about people that have been on the X-Men team, which Deadpool has been.
Deadpool's been on
He's
it.
been on the
X-Men
X-Men team.
Okay.
So, but like, and Gambit was just one of the characters that people were really obsessed with.
Yeah.
And that has, like, it's endured to a degree. But if we're talking about most important characters, then, bro, it's gonna be characters in there that people.
But to me, most important is more interesting than who is like the most popular. Because like popularity isn't what I go to the X-Men for. I'm like, the reason people love the X-Men is like, there's motherfuckers who love Maggot. Like, to this day, people are like, man, they never got Marrow right. They never got Maggot. Like,
This is a fun, I'm glad we're having this conversation. This is a great post credits. This is a fundamental. This thing, I think, illuminates the difference between you and I more than anything else. Importance is what the writers denote.
Yeah.
Popularity is what the people respond to. So when like the importance, the writers taking the same characters and writing them over again, as a reader and as a person, you don't have any control over that. Like which characters you like is just what people are responding to.
Yeah.
So when people are arguing, they're arguing over what they saw on the page, like what like incited them, what made them feel inspired and cool. The writers can decide that they're going to make Cannonball and External and put them in every story and do all of that stuff like that. And that's cool. I fuck with Cannonball. When you say Cannonball, I was like, God damn, Sam Guthrie, that's my nigga.
Also,
Like,
because Guthrie got the family. You
yeah,
forget,
I
you
like
got
Cannonball.
Huss,
Bro, you know who I like, bro? He was mentioned. I always loved Richter.
Rick, you are a
you
Richter
love
fan.
Richter.
Richter is funny.
Always love Richter. Richter
You just like the
becomes
look of the
leader.
guy.
I always loved Richter. Grungy ass white boy that can make earthquakes.
Yeah.
I always loved Richter,
Little
right?
emo boy.
Yeah,
Right.
little emo guy. Like, I always loved him. But like, so that's like a really important distinction. Like what Prestige says, and like you come from a very like highbrow critical mind. So these characters have to hold some weight. People just talk about, connect.
Who's nice? Who's nice? We having a nice conversation.
Yeah, kinetic car, all of that stuff. A lot of people was like, Gambit was so raw on Marvel vs. Capcom 2. Man,
Yes,
Gambit,
he was.
He's a cool character on that.
He's got that super.
But Gambit sucks on that game, bro. Is that
I
game?
made him all the
Kinetic
time and I
car.
lost every
Kinetic car. But even on that game, Gambit's shit is fucking cool.
When he
as
throws
shit.
the bow staff,
He
he's like,
throws the bow staff, and then he throws a million cards.
He the man.
Amazing.
But
But Gambit to me is
whoop
just
his fucking
nice.
ass.
When we talk about fundamentals, I'm just like, all right, this nigga.
It's like a difference between a basketball player and a hooper, right? A lot of these, like, you think Gambit's just a hooper?
Gambit's just a hooper.
Dang.
Because you can't build a run around Gambit. And that's what separates the big dogs. You can build a run around Wolverine, Magneto, Storm, Nightcrawler. Gambit, you never seen him lead a team. You never seen him put in the work.
That's different. I just think we can move off this. I just think there's a lot of lore to Gambit. Gambit has a lot of lore around him that
Thieves
other characters
Guilds.
don't. Thieves Guild, the Assassins Guild, like Gambit's backstory. I think that there's probably, because we're a little removed from it, like there's probably a lot to Gambit that we're not remembering, like Belladonna, all of that stuff like that. There was a lot going on with Gambit.
Should we do a Gambit lore episode
We
where we
should.
just break out the comics? We go through the X-Men. We just like, all right, do I need to put more respect on Gambit's name?
Well, we can do that with a lot of characters because I'm trying to get Claremont on the show for this X-Men Top 25 thing that we're doing. I'm trying to get Claremont on the show. It might almost make sense to record that at New York Comic Con. to like record there, or maybe do it at New York Comic Con. Like I'm trying to get Claremont.
Is Claremont in New York?
Well, he goes to a lot of these different things. Still a young guy. He's only 75, right? Spry guy, right?
Sure.
So I'm trying to get Claremont. I'm using everything that I know. I hung out with Chris Claremont one time through Kimberg. Yeah,
It's lovely.
yeah. It was not one of my finest moments.
What happened?
I was dick riding a little bit, man. It was like,
Were you,
All right, well,
were you Chris
Claremont to
Farley
me-
with Paul McCartney? Just like,
it
remember
was
when this?
tough, dog.
Claremont
It
is
was
one of the
tough.
writers where it's
man.
like, I'd be
I
scared of
shouldn't
the
have done it,
hose.
bro.
Nah, man.
It's fine.
But like, what kind of level of dick riding was it?
So let me tell you, and this shout out to Simon and Cleo, and shout out to DeRay McKesson. I'll tell you this story real quick. So Simon, Cleo, DeRay, they invite me to the X-Men Dark Phoenix premiere. So I go to the premiere, right? So I go to the premiere, and I've been to premieres before.
Yeah.
Right? I've gone to premieres with Tay. I've been to a lot of premieres before and all that stuff. I've been to premieres before.
Right.
This is different though. Because let me not say that this is different. Because I could not believe I was kicking it with the cast of The Best Man, right? When Tay took me to premiere. I was like, to Best Man. I was like,
Nice.
But this was a gigantic, huge Hollywood production and premiere.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, I go someplace, I turn around, and somebody's like, hey, I want to introduce you to someone, and it's Katy Perry and Orlando Bloom. And so you're talking to them and all that stuff. A lot of people were around there.
Yeah.
My man James was there. I didn't realize that he was Alexandria Shipp's brother. So we had been hooping together.
So James Shipp didn't,
I didn't know. It was like, yeah, we had been hooping together at the LA Fitness, and I see him at the premiere, and I'm like, what are you doing here? I know he's an actor, great looking guy. I'm like, what's going on? He's like, my sister's in the movie. I'm like, wait, what? And he's like, yeah, my sister's in the movie. I did not realize that me and him had been hooping together. He had just torn his ACL, whatever. He could play ball. Anyway, so we're there, and Simon's he's running around, he's got to do his stuff and stuff like that. And then Simon goes, hey, this room is full of gigantic. McAvoy's there, Fassbender's there,
Yeah.
everyone's there.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone's there. And then just more people that are not in the movies. It's like the top of the industry, right? And he's like, I want to introduce you to someone. And he's like, this is Chris Claremont. And man, I kind of froze up like Black Panther a little bit, bro.
Damn.
Like it was
froze, man.
there's still a picture of all of us together talking. And I'm just like standing there just wanting to know stuff. But when he started talking, like everybody in the picture was just listening to him. So that's one of the times that when you're around somebody like that, it's kind of like, it's odd. I felt the same way being around Spike Lee, because it's like, dog, you invented the shit.
Right.
Yeah.
Like you made it up.
So not like starstruck, but more of just like,
awestruck.
yeah.
This is somebody who's like created something that's so fundamental to you that you can't quite.
But
like,
also, it's all the questions I would have for Claremont. Like, I could talk to him for 5 hours. 6 hours.
Yeah. And he was nice, incredible. Everybody there that night was nice. And I still say, y'all gonna look at me crazy or whatever. I still say an overhated movie. I think. I still say.
So for our top 25 X-Men, what is, so the people can
I'm
get
being
ready
for
and
real.
prepared, what are we ranking? Are we ranking the most important across comics, movies, TV, just
should
X-Men?
we have our own criteria and then bring it together and then hash it
Yeah,
out?
I think we should. Yeah, I think we
like
should.
come together and be
Right,
like, what are we
yeah.
actually debating?
We all have our lists. We debate our lists, and then we put it together, and then have Claremont look at it and be like, actually, y'all are all wrong. Here's where the X-Men should be.
These are my horniest X-Men.
Right. Okay. All right, that's all post credits. Let's get back to the beginning of the show.